Hi, welcome everyone to Friends Like Us, a preview and a review of my Marina Franklin's podcast. I am here with my friend Evelyn Frick.
Hello.
Oh, I said your name for you.
That's
I'm here
okay.
with.
Evelyn Frick.
So, Evelyn, how have you been? What's going on? It's really cold.
It
Why
is.
am I using this voice?
It's very cold in New York, but that's okay. Staying bundled up. I mean, like at this point, like I hate when it gets cold, but also it's been really warm this winter, so which has also been off-putting. But yeah, so been doing good, just staying inside. I think it seems like cases are slowly like starting to go down in New York. So like I haven't really been going out that much, but I'm hoping like in the next like few weeks or so I can like start seeing friends again.
I know.
And not like because right now like even just going to the grocery store feels a little weird. So I'm excited to not have it not feel that way anymore.
I know. It all feels weird.
Yeah.
Interaction like last night, like I'm still performing. I went to the cellar last night.
Yeah.
It's funny because it's like I wasn't around anyone for a week, and then I'm in front of an audience.
Yeah.
And I was like, I even told them that. I said, listen, lower your expectations because I haven't been around people, and now this is a lot, you
Yeah.
know. But it was actually, I will say this is different for me as a stand-up now, not performing every single day.
Yeah.
I gotta say, a lot of the comics that I know that have been doing this for a long time, we're starting to realize it's actually better this way.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, not performing every single I mean, I performed for years, 20 years,
Yeah.
like every single day. That was the thing.
Wow.
It's like in order to get better, like especially when you first start,
Yeah.
like don't I would feel guilt if I skipped one day not
Wow.
performing, cuz then it like they, comics would think you weren't really about it and you felt
Yeah.
like you weren't really grinding, for
Yeah.
lack of a better term. And then but as a mature comedian, I
Mhm.
I do feel like taking time off makes it less stale. So when I'm in front of
Yeah.
an audience, it feels new to me too for the first time.
Wow.
And I make some new discoveries, and I think the audience actually appreciates it.
Hmm.
They
Wow.
actually can tell when you're on autopilot,
Yeah.
which we
That's so
do go
interesting.
into. Oh,
Yeah.
we go in I could be on stage saying words and be somewhere completely else.
Wow.
Because if you're doing it every single day, let's say for a
Yeah.
month, right? I could be
Yeah.
up there talking, and in my head, I'm like, "This guy in the front row is getting on my goddamn," like, I'll have a
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
conversation going on in my head. But it's because I've done those jokes and I know how they go so well that I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
wow," you know? So,
Huh.
yeah, it's interesting. Oh, I should
That's
probably say hi in the chat.
yeah.
Hi, everyone.
Oh.
I should have like a real way that I do this every week, but
It's
hi,
okay. It keeps things
everyone.
fresh.
How are you? Where are you from?
Talk to us.
Talk to us. I see there's 7 of you watching.
No
So,
idea.
oh, there we go. Oh, that's me. But yeah, I think the audience can tell when it's fresh, and it was really funny because like I talked to the people in the front row. They all had on masks, and I was like, you know what? Thank you.
Yeah, that's
You're in
nice.
the front row and you're wearing a mask. Like it should be that way to protect the audience, the comedian that is actually on stage,
Yeah,
because we have to
exactly.
take off our mask, in order to perform. I mean, I don't want to be the comedian that does the mask act,
Yeah,
but it does make sense. The
it
front
really
row
does.
is laughing and sometimes even coughing. I've had that
Oh my
happen before.
god.
And I'm always like, I hope you're well.
I know. Well, I've seen things where, like, people like, in the grocery store, just, like, walking down the street, people will, like, lower their mask to cough or sneeze, and it's like, that just negates the whole you should like, what are you doing? Like, I
It's
know it's not
amazing.
pleasant, but, like, you're what?
It is amazing human behavior on this. It tells you a
Yeah.
lot about people. It tells you, like, wherever you stand on this, we have all seen some signs of selfishness in human behavior where
Mm.
you don't realize it is actually about someone else on
Mhm.
so many levels. Wherever you stand on this, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. You will see selfishness on some level. And it's like you could see the guys who probably take off condoms mid sex. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
You see
exactly.
the guys who don't put on, it's like, oh, that behavior.
Here. Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
wow. Oh, you're a narcissist. Oh, you're a sociopath.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know? It's amazing how much you'll see. Okay, I see
Mhm.
some people are talking to us.
Yeah.
Lucky audience awaiting you in France. Oh, bonjour. Bonjour,
Mhm.
salut. Comment ça va? Uh,
That was good.
yeah, or should I say, uh, as soon as, huh? Mm. Okay, I don't know. Maybe that's lost in translation. Waiting you in France, or should I say, okay, I don't know. Okay. Oh wait. Oh, let's see. Hi, I'm Juskow's fan, and he turned me on to you. Oh, I'm from the greater Cincinnati area, Northern Kentucky. What? Northern Kentucky? Oh, yes, yes, Kentucky.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome, Marcy. Thank you for joining us. Juskow will be on soon. We he likes to join us late so that we can have a chance to talk.
Yeah.
So
And have steer some direction of the conversation before he joins.
yes, I mean, if you know him, you know exactly what I mean.
Mhm.
So there we go. Hello, Mike Dick. Always there for us. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello. What up, man? Hope you're staying warm.
Yeah.
My heater is like not really kicking in today.
Oh, really?
I mean, it's kicking in, but not like, I mean, I get hot flashes anyway, so I'm okay with
Yeah.
it, kind of. You know. Let's see. Let's see. Ted Chambers, what up? To quote
Mhm.
Bill Hicks, after 10 years on the road and just performing every night, you'll have to excuse me while I plaster on a smile and blow through this shit one more time. Just kidding. It's magic every night. No, it's not. It's so funny. I love Bill. I loved listen. Do you ever listen to Bill Hicks?
I haven't actually.
Oh, you gotta listen to some Bill Hicks. I
Okay.
mean, you want to talk about like stand up and the history of stand up and where it
Mhm.
comes from. Definitely listen to some Bill
Okay.
Hicks. Genius.
Okay. I'll
Um,
taste.
Salut, très bien, merci. And you? Ah, bien. Bien, or should I say comme ci, comme ça? Mm. Do you know any French?
Um, un peu. I took French in high school.
You know how to
But,
say I took French in high school in French?
uh, let's see, I don't really know the past tense, but,
I do.
nice. Yeah, it's oh my god, it's been, a minute since I've taken French, and also, like, I took Russian in college, so sometimes, like, in my mind, when I'm trying to, like, think about French, I do Russian.
This is how you say I took French. I know I might have the past wrong too. But is je prends la classe de français pour 4 ans.
Hmm,
Je
okay.
prends la classe de I may be saying it the tense wrong though.
Yeah,
Je
that sounds right.
prends to take la classe of French
Mm,
pour 4 years.
this interesting.
I I don't know. You could let me know if I said it wrong. Dalila, let me know.
Mm.
Je ne sais pas. They're doing Hercule Poirot. They're
Oh, I love
doing The
Hercule
Murder on
Poirot.
the Nile, which is one of the first books, like, when I was young, I read. I
Yeah, me
love that.
too.
Oh, you read
So
it too?
good. Yeah, oh yeah, like, I think the Hercule Poirot books were, like, some of, like, the first, like, longer, like, books that my sister and I read, and, like, growing up, my parents, like, showed us, like, the David Suchet, like, Masterpiece Theater, Hercule Poirot. Um, I think it's so funny though, I've seen the trailer for the new Death on the Nile, and they, like, are very clearly have, like, cut Armie Hammer out of the trailer because they don't want
Oh.
people because he's, like, done some, like, bad things, I guess. I don't know really the story, but they
Oh,
filmed it before, like, things came out about that. So he's, like, still in the movie because he's, like, a main character, but in the trailer, he's, like, nowhere to be seen.
really? Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people getting canceled lately. It's like in like the Sex in the City. That is that guy? I don't know which
Um,
actor it
oh,
is.
no, that's Chris Noth,
Oh,
the
yes,
Sex
yes,
and the City
Chris
guy.
Noth.
Army Hammer, he was
Yeah, that
in
name.
Call Me by Your Name, and
Let me pull up Army Hammer.
yeah, he was
See.
also in The Social Network. Um, he's been in a lot, and now
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's attractive.
I know it's unfortunate. He seems like a bad
Oh,
person.
it's always like it's like you think, let me share the screens for those of you that may not know who he is. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, that's so sad. There he is.
Yeah, I'm very not good.
Now he's gonna go into like some weird depression. I because he's not gonna have a career and he's not gonna look like this anymore.
More that's true, yeah.
Ugh. It's this time has brought out so much in like
Yeah,
people that we just did not know that we thought were like Dr. Oz, I guess,
yeah.
like we said last week. And then, like I heard someone on stage last night that I as a comedian, I've always liked him.
Mhm.
But I could tell from his material, he's got some conspiracy things going
Mhm.
on in his brain.
Yeah,
And here's the thing, the audience no longer goes along with it. We
that's really interesting.
the audience can tell. I mean, they're
Mhm.
polite, right?
Yeah.
But we now know what conspiracy nutcases sound like. We now
Yeah,
know
exactly.
the bullet points.
Yeah, exactly.
When they start talking about pharmaceutical companies, which,
Mhm.
pharmaceutical companies, not always to be trusted, but
Yeah,
still, once they start talking about it, I go, "Mm,
that's a red flag.
mm."
Yeah.
Did you see what they're doing with, Joe Rogan on Sirius? The doctors, like, I think it was like 300 doctors called him out, and they were like,
Wow.
"Sirius needs to do something about this misinformation."
Yeah. I don't know if I doubt they will though. I mean, like, he makes so much money for them, I assume.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's always about money, but
Oh, yeah.
it's gonna come down.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, I did get it right. Yes, the français cartons, yes, I got it.
That's so
Oh,
satisfying.
look, greetings. Is there a way to watch the Friends Like Us podcast? There is not. I mean,
Yeah.
it's only it's audio every week because we put so much into that, the technology of the audio space, and it's very difficult to get people visually every week. Like we were
Yeah.
gonna try to do an extra one this week, and then my schedule got crazy. Um,
Yeah.
but this is the way. If you want to see us, I
Yeah.
mean, it's not like the actual podcast, but I encourage you to go to my Patreon page. Would you see that right in the scroll under here? Here,
Yeah, I think
I'll
it's
post.
in the link
Yeah,
tree.
it's also in the description, but I will type it out for you because I know sometimes these things get confusing. Um, so yeah, so that is where you go to listen to the podcast. And let me tell you something. This past week we had Rob Kirkland from
Yeah.
Yellowstone and for Mayor of Kingstown. And we
Yeah.
talked about it. It's a great episode with also Zainab Johnson and
Mhm.
Noye Brown West. So check that episode out, okay? And
Okay.
I said this before, we were the first ones to call out Chicago. We had Troy La Ravier on
Yeah.
the podcast talking about Chicago schools being dirty
Yeah.
and the relationship between the teachers union and the city. We did that before the mayor, the new mayor,
I know.
um,
I saw that.
he called them out.
He called out
He
Lori Lightfoot.
he was like, "Look, I'm no Chicago mayor. I like to communicate." Mayor Adams, right? Yeah.
Yeah, who he's not good either.
Oh yeah, I agree, Brendan. I don't know Joe Rogan. I've never met him personally. I'm sure he's like probably like a nice guy, you know,
Yeah.
but you know, it's like, come on, dude. Like, what are you
Yeah.
doing? Like, um, I don't know. Evelyn, they say you're glowing.
Thank you, Dee. It's
That sounded so cute.
yeah. I am wearing Fenty makeup by Rihanna. So if that's
Mm.
where if you're interested in makeup, that's what I'm wearing.
She is so wealthy from that.
She makes really good makeup. It's yeah, I started like using their foundation like a few years ago, and have never looked back. And also have like such a wide range of like darker shades of
Oh,
foundation, which
yeah.
yeah, like because there's like so many other like companies have maybe like two shades for like black and brown skin, and she has like I think like something like 10 or 15. It's
Oh,
really
I
nice.
gotta check it out. You know what I love about her was like she'd
Mhm.
never got into the drama they tried to create between her, Jay-Z, and Beyonce. She
Yeah.
just kept it moving and she kept making her money.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if there was ever, it's like, "Ooh, keep your eye on the prize."
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
closed my mask last night when I was on stage. Sometimes I leave my mask open and you could see my makeup and, you know, true story. It looks Sarah Silverman said this when she was sitting next to me because you could see the makeup. She's like, "What are you wearing, blackface?" Because you could see that my makeup was definitely darker. It was
Mhm.
way darker and it was, like, rubbing on all of it came out. So I'm always so nervous that the audience could see that.
Yeah,
And they go, "Whoa, what kind of makeup is she using?" I always go a shade darker in the winter
yeah, that makes sense.
just because I do like a darker complexion myself. Yeah,
Mhm.
Rihanna better work. All right, I guess
I
we
just want
should
more
bring
music by
on
her.
this, the man of the hour, the only hour.
Yeah, exactly.
David Juskow,
Hi, everybody.
everybody.
No.
I
Yo!
love when Evelyn wears makeup. Everybody knows that.
You.
Very excited.
Mhm.
Put out
What
a
do you
nice
think
picture on
about
Instagram.
Oh, you did?
No, she did yesterday.
I was so one of the brands that I work for, we occasionally will do kind of like photo challenges to like have our audience like post and tag us in photos. And the one that we did this week is a hashtag Jews in the Wild because it's the Jewish holiday for the trees
Obviously, I
on
follow that site.
Monday. And so we're just asking for people to send us like pictures of them in nature. So I posted one to get the ball rolling. Yeah, so it's
I
fun.
started that site, Hot Jewish Girls with Douchebags.
What?
Remember?
I've never heard of that.
Well, it was Hot Girls with Douchebags, but now I changed it to Hot Jewish Girls with Douchebags.
Interesting.
I coined the phrase.
Like Sarah should be on there.
Yes, perhaps you're right.
Joking. Because she's a hot Jewish well,
Meanwhile,
no.
speaking of black people makeup,
Wait, look at this before we finish because she just wrote this off topic, but there is a tsunami warning in Edmonds,
What?
global warming, I think. What?
That's
Really?
crazy.
well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That was next. I was just talking to somebody yesterday. They said, "Oh, I was talking to Rick Newman. Remember from Catch a Rising Star?" And we were talking about how he's we're only missing the tidal waves and the locusts. And I said, "Oh no, those are coming. They're coming."
Oh, that sounds like my joke
It
with the
does, yes.
apple. I haven't done that joke in a
But
long
it's
time.
true. They're all coming. Get ready. We haven't seen anything of global warming yet. We haven't
Oh
seen the
no.
exciting repercussions. We're all in for a heavy ride. It's going to be awesome.
Cool
The
Pendleton,
tsunami is just
dude?
the start.
What's Cool Pendleton, dude? What is that?
I don't know.
Are you
Maybe he's
talking
talking
about
about
your
Austin
flannel?
Pendleton, the actor.
I don't know what's going on
Mm.
there. I don't know. Explain, D.
Yeah,
I
Austin,
just
he's clearly talking about Austin Pendleton.
Oh,
Everybody
yes,
knows
D.
that.
As Mimi Simpson says, the world is hot. Oh, yeah, Mimi be going in. I love Mimi. I haven't had Mimi on here with you, which is going to be a treat.
Yeah,
Oh, is she coming
truly.
on today?
No, she will. I'm going to ask her to come on soon. You just reminded me. Thank you, D. Oh yeah.
Hello,
What?
Elizabeth.
A volcano went off?
Oh, it's the kind
Yeah,
of show.
and like in the Pacific Ocean, I think.
It's just over. Just enjoy yourselves, everybody. I mean, I guess maybe that's why people are having such a difficult time wearing their masks. Is they're like, the world is over.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Oh,
think
Dave's
so.
shirt. They're talking about your shirt.
That makes sense. Yes, it's a lumberjack flannel.
Because Dave is
Yeah.
clearly a lumberjack outdoorsman type.
Well, I'm actually, I usually don't leave the house, and I'm leaving tonight. I'm going to Carmine's for dinner, which is going to be a super spreader. But I have some cousins that are coming into town, and I don't know what to wear because it's going to be freezing. I don't think I'm going to wear this, but I'm saying I think I'm going to wear something like that looks stupid because I just want to keep warm, and I'm cold all the time.
You could wear
It's
your
so
coat the
cold.
whole time.
No, that's awful because then when you go outside, then you're not warm. You need the coat. You can't wear the coat inside.
Oh, that's true. But
Yeah,
I've
that's right.
always
Plus-
I've always tested that theory.
I'm taking the motorcycle, the scooter up to
Oh,
the Upper West
no.
Side.
Don't
Yeah,
you
it's
dare.
freezing. It's going to be freezing.
It's gonna be
You know
really
those
cold.
Hi,
scooters,
Marcy.
they've stopped the scooters in the
In
Bronx.
the Bronx. Good riddance.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because people keep stealing the batteries. That's what they do up
Oh my
there. It's
God.
awful up there. Do you know
Watch
the
your
only,
mouth. Watch your mouth. The Bronx has got some beautiful areas.
It does.
Yes,
Riv-
further up.
Riverdale?
They're not talking about that section where the rebels are. Meanwhile, I bought my car to the Bronx maybe 2 or 3 times. I've had my battery stolen. So that's
Oh,
all they do
really?
there. It's not even dangerous. They just steal people's batteries. I don't know what the story is.
I
They
do
love
know. I
batteries.
do know a story about a girl who just bought a car, young girl, beautiful car, parked it in the driveway. I think I told you guys about this, and they stole like all her tires.
Yeah, that's what they
Oh
do.
my
It's not like a
God.
joke. Well, in the 70s, my parents took us up to visit some relatives in the Bronx. They stole our battery. It's like
Well,
it's just
let's
nonstop.
not say the Bronx is not all like that, and not
It's
everyone
all like
in.
that, folks.
No, it's
all like that.
not,
It's
and not
disgusting
everyone
up there.
in the Bronx.
It's terrifying going up there. It's worse than Harlem.
Look, when I get mad, I can't say words. I was like, not everyone in the Bronx. Not everyone in the Bronx is
The
like
Bronx
that.
is awful, and it's an
No.
awful borough. It's worse than Staten Island in my book.
No, nothing.
You've never been to Staten Island, Evelyn. How dare
I've
you?
been to Staten Island.
You have? Oh.
Oh yeah, a friend of mine from college lives in Staten Island.
Ooh, j'ai froid.
Oh my
Ooh,
God.
I mean,
Oh,
tout
six-
froid.
6 Fahrenheit. I thought they said minus
Is
23
froid cold?
Fahrenheit.
Froid is cold.
Froid,
Sure.
yeah.
Elizabeth, you live in Montreal? That's interesting.
Oh,
I thought
God.
she was American.
I'm gonna bring
Yeah,
Keith
see,
on.
Dee says he knew a woman from Queens. He would never visit the Bronx. The Bronx is one of those places where you just hear about it on the news all the time. This is the problem if you don't live in Manhattan, right, Marina? If you don't live in Manhattan, and I'm sure Evelyn felt this way when she was living in Pennsylvania, when you hear about stuff in the city, you get scared. If you live here, you understand it's not as bad as what you see in the news or what the way people talk about it. So I'm just never in the Bronx. And all we ever hear on the local news is that there's bad shit going down in the Bronx. Marina, you know I'm right about this. Every time it starts, something
It's
happens
the
in the
way
Bronx.
you listen, though, too.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
I
It's
don't
the
know.
way
Everything
you hear-
bad seems to happen in the Bronx.
Look,
The
a woman
murders,
was
fires,
shoved
raping.
Listen, a woman was shoved off a platform this morning in Times Square on the train going to Queens. What, are you not going to take the train now?
Right. No, exactly. But if you're living in Kansas and you're like, I'm never going to Times Square, we know that Times Square isn't normally like
can
that.
stay in Kansas.
But you understand what I'm saying, right? It is a perception of something you've heard or read until you've been there. We know how Times Square isn't as bad as everybody said. No, it was.
No, it's just as bad. You know what made
the
Times Square
70s.
bad? The people.
Oh yeah, they're awful. I go through there all the time. Where I was on every Monday after Wings, I go through Times Square, and it's
I
awful, but
will
it's also
not
exciting.
go. No, I don't find it exciting.
Sometimes at night it's very exciting.
When my relatives say they're staying in a hotel, and I said, "Well, you call me when you get out."
But that Marriott Marquis is very nice.
Because there's a couple of hotels in Times Square that you. I always tell them if they ask
Times
me.
Square.
I say,
If you live here, Times Square is awful. But technically, I have lived there a long time, and when I go to Times Square, it's exciting. I still find it exciting.
Dave is out. Yeah, D, I agree. Dave out here fear mongering out about the Bronx like he's DJT, and we
Who's
know
DJT?
that's the name that shall not be said on this show. the former president, 45.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
it's true. I am saying I'm doing exactly that. You're absolutely right.
But you know what? Let me tell you something about this train and the shoving thing.
Yeah.
I watched a kid last night on his cell phone. Well, not young. Like he had to be in his 20s, like mid-20s, standing on the edge.
Not
And
paying
then I
attention.
saw not paying attention,
Yep.
looking at his phone, like life is forever.
Oh,
And
God.
I saw, and
Mm.
like, not to be whatever, but like where I live, there is a community kitchen, and like they do dump a lot of the people who are in rehab in Harlem, which is an argument I want to, bring up, but like why they keep doing that in Harlem. So when you get on the train, you got to really pay attention because they come on sometimes they fling in I'm talking about the people who are mentally having difficulties. They're doing stuff and they don't think about you, and they will push your ass onto the tracks.
And that's just the people that aren't even doing it intentionally. So
Yeah.
yes, if you're reading your cell phone like an idiot and you're in the subway and you're not paying attention, when everyone knows, especially the past couple of years, that people are pushing people onto the tracks, well, that's on you. because every time the train comes, when I was taking the subway, I always, when the train comes, I go back. I
Yeah,
don't
oh,
stand there, right?
yeah.
And I'm watching for somebody who might push me. If you don't, the multiple times that I got mugged in this city back in the day, it was when my guard was down and I wasn't paying attention. Either I fell asleep on the subway or I was drinking. And those are the times that something bad happens, when you're not paying attention and when you're reading your texts, sitting at the subway platform and right at the edge. That's never going to work out well. It's not going to end well.
Yeah, I think that's like one of the things that like even now that like I live here, like I visited the city a lot before I lived here because I went to college just like in the Hudson Valley, but like I think like watching for like the subway and like being extra cautious around is like one of the things that I will never like get over, like as long as I live here, just like being hyper aware.
Yeah, then you're just talking about before you get on the subway. Then once you're on the subway, sometimes,
Yeah.
oh my God, I've been on where I'm like, why aren't the doors are locked and you can't get out when somebody really bad comes on the subway and there's nothing you can do about it. They used to have them open where you could walk through, like you've probably seen in a bunch of 70s movies. And now a lot of them are locked.
Yeah.
And it's terrifying. And then when the train stops, I've been in these situations before. They're awful.
Adam Schatz has a good essay in the New York Review of Books, which, by the way, on getting mugged in New York City, which, by the way, they just had a study saying less and less people in America, I guess, or generally, are reading. Are you reading?
Oh.
I'm reading.
I'm reading. I read more like online publications, like essays online, as opposed to like books, which like I have a lot of books and I need to I have like a list of things that I want to read, but I read every day. It's just not necessarily.
She seems like a reader, right, Marina?
But reading actually books is what they're saying, like actually cracking open a book, or even looking on your what is that? The readers.
I read a lot of magazines.
You read a lot of magazines?
Yeah, I read magazines like the special. Like I have one of Marcy on this show gave me a James Bond magazine, and I have Rocky. I'm reading about Rocky. Those special picture magazines I like. That's why the only books I'm reading are the Harry Potter ones with the new illustrated ones. As long as there's a lot of pictures, then I can usually read the books. It's bad for me. I'm not a good reader. But I want to be.
I gave you for your birthday the Archie and right?
No, I have those. We read them all weekend long.
Yeah.
That's my happy place when I when I'm sad about losing a football game.
What is it? Archie and Veronica and
I have them all here. Well, I'll get them.
Look at it. He's so excited. That kind of shaped, by the way, reading those magazines or those cartoons, my relationship with like other girls.
Oh, really?
Betty and Veronica, because they used to always fight.
Right, yeah.
Over Betty one guy.
Jumbo, the special 100th issue, and the Archie Jumbo comics. It's fantastic.
I am reading the book about water. Wait, what's the one?
Look, and this one is up to date. It's like I thought you might appreciate if I texted you in person. That's some up to date Archie shit, man. He's texting. I thought these were the old ones from the 70s. in which I read every that and Richie Rich. Forget about it. I knew everything about Richie Rich. And when that
Oh
movie
yeah,
came
Richie
out,
Rich.
I think I told you when that movie came. Oh, I can't tell you that. You won't like it.
Yeah, DJ Eric Prince, you're right. One I am reading now is The Dawn of Everything: A New History of Humanity. Oh, good for you. Yeah. I'm reading a book I just started. You know what's funny is I can't remember the title. But I know it's usually up here, but I took it out cuz I felt like I wasn't reading. And my brain actually changes when I start reading. I don't know about you, but I actually my vocabulary gets bigger. My brain starts to work better. On stage, I'm actually a better comedian too. I actually read before when I'm writing. Like if I'm like I'm working on the show right now, right? I'm working on writing my show. So I read in order to get those juices going.
I'm trying to, the book I want to read, I was looking for one that I might like, and I thought reading A Clockwork Orange might be fun, but I can't seem to find it. And I like going to the bookstore and looking, and they don't sell it at Barnes and Noble.
I love going to the library. That's one thing.
Oh, see, that I would not like.
Oh, they're so nice. Like I live like a 10-minute walk from the central branch of the Brooklyn Public Library in Grand Army Plaza, and it's so nice. And the thing that like my girlfriend and I have started doing is like trying to go to like every public library in Brooklyn, and they just opened one.
See, but it
in
seems like
Dumbo.
during
It's really
COVID,
pretty.
the public library doesn't seem like a good plan. Reading other people's books.
It's a lot of space in there, though.
It is like very spacious, and they have like precautions set in place. Like I don't think right now you can go into browse and like check out books and like use computers, but you can't like sit down and like stay there for like a long amount of time. So we're just kind of like walking in and out, and we haven't done it in a while, but it's just nice to be around lots of different books.
Yes, Days. I love it. No droogs like us, though.
And by the way,
brother.
Elizabeth, you should be okay on the metro because you're in Montreal, right, Elizabeth? Am I right?
Yeah, isn't that nice and clean?
Yeah, you should be okay on the metro. And if you're paying attention, like we were saying, just, realize that we're in a very desperate time and everybody's crazy. And then the crazies are extra crazy.
Yeah. But how come you don't hear about, you really only hear about that in the New York City subway? I don't hear about people pushing people on in D.C. or like she's in Montreal or any of those nice clean places. I don't.
Well,
why
maybe
only
we
in
just
New
don't
York?
hear, but we just don't hear. Well, New York has a situation with their the homeless situation is really bad, and they are on the subway.
Do you think the new mayor will fix that, like the old mayors did before?
We were just about to talk about him and how he was addressing the Chicago mayor, saying, I'm not like that mayor. I talk to people. I communicate. Here's the one thing I will say about him that I'm having a little bit of a problem with. Get out of your campaign mode. Okay.
Yeah.
You keep talking as if you need to convince us who you are. We got it. We voted you in. Okay.
Yeah.
So
we had no choice.
I would have. I like him though. But
I'm sorry. You would have gone for the guardian angel guy. He was running against no one.
No, I'm just saying I do like him despite that,
Sure.
despite there was no option outside of him. But I do think Eric Adams needs to get to a point. Someone needs to, counsel him possibly. And I like the fact that he wants to talk, he wants to communicate, and he wants to tell people how he feels, But I don't know if it's because I'm older, but I'm like, I find myself yelling at the TV when he's talking. I'm like, I got it. You care.
Yeah.
Now let's get this. Let's talk about let's get to this point where we got to get some work done here. Because we just had a young lady, who was shot in Burger King.
Oh, yeah. That's so sad.
It is tragic. 19 years old.
Trying to make a living at a goddamn Burger King, which, of course, I should have that job right now because I need a job. And then to get shot there, that's like the worst thing that could ever happen. It's really the worst.
The thing that I have trouble with is I just like I voted for him, but I don't really trust him. Stuff with also like that big fire in the Bronx, like the person who owned that building is on Eric Adams' like transitional team for like housing.
What?
And there were a lot of problems in that building.
And like the people blame it on like the space heater, but what's having to use a space heater is indicative of the fact that the landlord is not heating the building correctly and not providing heating to his residents in like this really cold weather that we're having. So that's not a great sign.
Well, they just had pictures of the
wait,
basement
wait,
yesterday.
hold on 1 second. Eric Adams is the what again?
He's on Eric Adams' transitional team. It's like, I think I don't know the landlord's, oh gosh, yeah, I can't remember the landlord's name, but he's like on Eric Adams' transitional team, I think advising about like housing in New York City.
And
So
he's on this property.
he owns the property. Yeah.
Wow.
The management team, or the building management company. Yeah. He's a part of that owns the building.
That is such important information. Thank you, Evelyn, for sharing that.
She's
Because
good.
you know, this is what she is. That's why I have her here, because this is
That's
the
why.
thing is you can talk all those emotions you want to, but I want to know this information right here. It's like you could talk a good game, you could say how much you care about stuff. But when I find out that you have someone like that, a member of your transitioning team, I have a huge problem with you now. I have a huge problem.
Yeah, and well, that's why, I mean, to promote Friends Like Us, it's why one of the episode with Tony Griffin is like one of my favorites, because like I wouldn't know about like that fact without, like, my girlfriend is like, she studied urban planning, and so she's very like into the urban planning like world and like information, and so like she knew that right away because those are the channels that she's like, you know, she hears about things and her friends all study that. But yeah, so it's like important information like that you really need to know about what's going on in the city.
It's like the episode in here where Archie took over Mr. Weatherby's job for a day, and he tried to put all of these implementations in for the school, but you know, he just didn't know how it was working. You know, hello.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to give it to you. You just cannot.
But DJ Eric Prince, what he's saying, his brother is hired to be his bodyguard. That's getting me uptight too.
Well,
when they start using their family members.
Yeah, his brother was being hired. Yeah, he reneged on that. He then took the job away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he took the job away from him.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Am I allowed to use the word reneged? Or
it's NEGGED. It's not because of the N word.
Are you sure? Because
yes.
Look, again, it's how you heard it.
By the way, I watched some of DJ Eric Prince's stuff last year.
How was it? Did you enjoy it?
I did.
Did you comment?
I believe I did.
Yeah, you got to do that. I would have been there, but I had to be on stage.
Yeah. No, I was home all night, so it was fun. He's got a really cool setup going.
Yeah, Eric, put your Twitch handle in here. It's also on YouTube, right?
Yeah, I think that's where I was watching. I don't have Twitch, or I'm not really sure what it is because I'm old.
It is called Twitch. Oh, you'll be back on tonight. How long do you?
He was on for a while. He was like maybe 2-3 hours.
Put your handle. Yeah, it's always good. Put your handle there. And I just joined your page on Twitch, DJ Eric Prince. If you like house music, that
2
is
hours.
okay.
Yeah.
So, but also DJ Eric Prince has an eclectic collection of music. So
it's fun watching him do it. You know, it's kind of cool.
Wow! Everyone's watching. Look at that.
Great.
Yeah, when you see when you see a guy that knows what he's doing and DJing, it's kind of fascinating to make it work. You know, it's a real skill.
It is a real skill, and a lot of people don't like. I remember telling Dan Natterman, our friend, about how I was a DJ group, and he goes, "Don't they just put records on? I don't get it." And I go, "No, it's more than that. It's like blending music, knowing what music comes after." And
and the worst is sometimes I met this girl at my old office, and she said she was a musician, but it turned out she was a DJ. Now, I guess I get it, but if you're gonna bill yourself as that, that's a little too much.
No, it's not, because a lot of DJs produce music.
Well, yes, right, but she didn't. So that's why
she just
took,
and
how
to
that term, and she was kind of a jerk off. So,
well, that's more of what's going on here, isn't it?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, because there's most DJs, if they're good DJs, they produce music and they make music.
Right. That I totally get. Right. That's how. Isn't that how Jelly Bean Benitez made some of Madonna's classics? Right.
He's a part of it, yes.
Yeah. I don't know why that came.
I mean, Eric Prince, that's a good one. That's
also, Mark Ronson, right? Didn't he start off as a DJ and then he started producing?
Oh, probably.
Maybe.
He
He's
sounds like he'd
written some
probably be a
great
DJ.
songs. Yeah.
Look at this, Stace. Just hooking up a new receiver today and would love to hear DJ Eric Prince on the new system. Have a great set. That's wonderful.
I'm putting together a new hi-fi system.
Ooh.
Maybe she was a turntablist.
Yeah, isn't that cool? I think I still have. Well, I have one in a box.
Oh, I still have a turntable.
You do?
Yes.
Oh yeah, records are back in, I would say.
Yeah, they are, right? I have a bunch of old ones that apparently are. I have the Prince Black album that they tell me is worth something. It's not. It's like a second version that they banned. It's not the original first one, which is worth a lot of money.
Did any of you do shows this week? Now, I spoke about it at the top of the show that, yes, I performed last night. I have 2 shows tonight. Now, I will say this. I'm very careful. I don't hang out. I wear a mask all the way up to the stage. I bring my own microphone. And here's another thing. Look, Juskow was just about to interrupt me.
I was. I stopped.
You know, can you see the hand? I have a mouse hand waving over his mouth. Can you see that?
No, I can't, unfortunately.
God, I wish you could see that.
Just put Stace's bigger just hooking up the new receiver again. That'll cover my mouth. Somebody write something big, and then she'll put it over my mouth.
Vinyl does rule. Oh, it's not big enough.
Yeah.
Damn.
No, that's
Oh,
what
here we go.
DJ Eric Prince.
Yeah,
There you go. Hey, I can't see my. What? Damn it!
Oh yeah, on YouTube, Eric Prince, you're gonna get shut down if you have music, and even on Twitch.
Why?
After a while, they will figure out because it's music, it's copywritten music.
Is that copywritten music? If you're DJing and you're putting on different things, I mean, different sounds.
YouTube is very sensitive. Like the one that I actually put up with my niece opening her gifts. They were like the music, even though I bought that music. I bought it so that I could use it.
What?
YouTube is very sensitive.
Wait, if you bought it, that's supposed to be like from one of those places like a Pond 5 or that they shouldn't shut that down.
They actually, I looked, it says it doesn't matter. It's still considered copywritten music, even if you purchase it.
Why are we paying money for that? I've bought some of those too, and I'm that would really piss me off. That's the reason I purchased them and not.
There's a couple of the Friends Like Us episodes I would love to put on YouTube, but I have to prove that I have the music that I actually did get from the people who made the music.
Check this out. I've had my podcast on for about 7-8 years. Nobody's ever complained because nobody really listens. And I play music all the time. And no one's ever complained. I've never gotten a notice. But the first time I got a notice, and I have a feeling it was because I was playing the Adam Schlesinger song, That Thing You Do, when he had just died, I guess, or something. And the weird part is that I got in trouble for that song, which is a guy, if he was alive, I could have said, do you mind if I play this song? And he would have been okay. I would have had his permission. So it's even weirder to get in trouble for a song that's
what I'm saying.
He would have given me the permission to.
The music that I play at the end of Friends Like Us is my ex-boyfriend who passed away, by the way, and great DJ Sean Haley, DJ Sean. But he wrote that soundtrack. It's on the podcast. He gave me permission, but if I tried to play it on YouTube, and they were like, "You don't have permission for this." And so I don't know what you have to go through. Here's a satellite look.
YouTube is tough. That's the problem. I got something from Spotify, which was rare, and they go through where I send it to, which is Acast, and then they get angry. So I said, you can, take that down if you want. They said if you take it out, but then they don't even tell you what song. I figured it out though.
Stace said, by the way, buying the song is not the same thing as obtaining the broadcast license. Yeah.
Oh. Well, YouTube is problematic. That's the issue. When you do Friends Like Us, it's not a video, is it?
No, but sometimes you can put on YouTube an audio too.
That's why I stopped putting stuff on YouTube for that reason. Who needs the trouble? The other things don't do it that.
I like this one. I think this is accurate.
Oh.
You have some haters on there, Juskow, just waiting to report you.
I'm sure.
Are you doing any shows?
Me?
Anyone?
I stopped. Yeah. I mean, I just stopped.
Yeah.
I don't even know whether I stopped because of the pandemic. I stopped because I'm having trouble. I just need to be at places I enjoy playing. And since I haven't been playing at the Cellar anymore, I just kind of, I stopped with that West Side Club. I just wasn't happy there anymore with that woman. And I wish I just need a nice, friendly place to play again. And it's horrible because I was at Caroline's and I did a really good job, which is odd for me, right? I usually stink, but I had a really good show and it was working because I was doing more. And when I do more and more, I get better and better. And then I always take like a 6-month break and then I'm bad again and I have to start over and it's awful. I wish I could play, but right now I haven't been going out. So I went out Wednesday for the first time in like 2 weeks. There was no one on the streets. There was no one in the bars. It's a little spooky here again.
It is spooky here again. It is a repeat to where we had the first lockdown. Yeah, you're right. Like, and you can see on the subway, the way the homeless are acting. It's like the shelters, which I was going to say earlier, the shelters are full and the eviction moratorium, how do you say it?
Yeah, moratorium, that's right.
Yeah, is up, right?
It's ending. Oh, well, it might be
ending.
today.
It ended today.
It's today or soon.
On the coldest day of the year.
I
And so all the
know.
shelters are full. So if there was ever a time to really pay attention when you're walking around, it's now.
Yeah, and I think DJ or one of the other ones put up, don't wear headphones on the street. He's right about that too, and I do that all the time. And my friend who used to be a sergeant in Harlem used to say, "I hate when you walk home like that." And I walk home late at night wearing the headphones because that's when things are going to get bad. You're not paying attention.
I had cops stop me once on the subway and told me about my headphones, but I thought they were just flirting with me.
They were flirting because nobody would stop you to tell you it's not illegal. They were totally
I was like,
flirting.
What?
They were flirting.
Listen, I would rather die than give up my background music when I walk around the city.
Exactly.
Can't take it.
I'm with you 100%.
Yeah, I need to have something in.
There's certain times when, of course, I'll like turn it down or I'll like make sure, like the noise cancellation things, you gotta like be very careful with because you gotta be aware.
That's no good in the city.
Certain hours, certain areas.
It's fine for a plane.
Yeah,
but
yeah. So sometimes I'll ride my bike and I'll listen to music, and then I turn it way down because you have to hear stuff for that. But when I'm walking, I can put it up. But I am usually aware of my surroundings, or I try to be.
Yeah,
it's illegal actually on the bike. I was told to have headphones.
Is that right? It should be illegal, but
that is why you have those annoying people who blast their music on their bikes.
Isn't that weird?
That's why they're doing it. They're actually doing it because they can't legally wear headphones. But I do it all the time, and you're not supposed to do it because you can't hear, what's around you.
Well, the other day I finally did it with the motorcycle when it was nice weather out, and I went up the West Side Highway listening to Donald Fagen and Steely Dan, and it was very exciting. It was like putting on like a New York soundtrack, while you're going up. It was really great.
Shake a dang dang.
But you shouldn't be doing that.
Which is actually my corporation.
I'm going all that distance today, the Upper West Side on that bike. It's going to be so cold. My hands get so cold.
Do you have like gloves?
I have new gloves I just bought coming today that'll have those heaters on, like a battery pack. But they're coming. I don't know if they're going to make it in time to get here.
Oh no.
So one more day of where it's just going to be so cold. My fingers get so cold I cannot fix them. But I'm not taking the subway anymore. 2 years. March 9th will be 2 years.
Whoa, good for you. It's so easy for me to get down to the cellar on the subway, so I can't.
Well, where you live, I don't know if I lived where you live. I live kind of in the middle of everywhere I got to go. So
you live in the worst type of subway situation ever.
Oh yeah, well, that's true too. Yeah,
I couldn't. But for me, it's like it's so easy to just get on the subway.
I mean, it goes right to the cellar.
It goes right to the cellar. I used to ride my bike down there, but then like now I don't. And because I don't have to, but I will say, like, riding my bike down there gave me a lot of freedom because the subway is depressing.
It is.
Yeah. Well, you can't get out if you want. It's just, especially when you're riding it high. Many times I've had to get off because I was way too high
on the subway.
Yeah, I thought I could handle it and I couldn't.
Oh, I'm always high on the subway.
I know.
It seems like way too overstimulating.
You handle it better. I'm an idiot.
I'm pretty good on it. But the thing is like now, because I also have a thing for the city bike, if anything happens, I just get out and I go jump on a city bike. I'm like, fuck.
City bike is the best, especially during this kind of weather because the electric bikes are always available. It's just as good as the motorcycle or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Oh, Stace, be careful though. I live in the burbs now and feel okay listening to Flu and other podcasts while walking on our open space and
Oh,
park
that's okay.
paths. But deaf, keep the volume. Yes, be careful, Stace.
Yeah.
I don't want them to, find you and then go, she was listening to this podcast.
I
Sad.
do. I want that more than anything in the whole world.
Yes, you do have to be high. Thank you, Lisa, in
That's a
order
good
to
point
take the
too.
subways. It is
Yeah.
so gross. Oh, I want to ask you guys this about the Golden Globes. Were you sad that you didn't get to see it this year? It was very problematic.
I wasn't sad that I didn't get to see them. Like, of all the award shows, it's definitely the one that I care the least about. But it felt very weird that they still like they had like a ceremony that they just weren't like. It was just they were like live tweeting basically who was winning, which felt very weird. I don't know. I mean, I'm glad they're taking time to like work on themselves
Are
as an
they working on
organization.
themselves though?
I loved it. I love that it was canceled. I love that
Yeah.
everything's being canceled. They all suck. I love the Oscars, right? I like the Oscars are the one, right? That's been around for such a long time. It's exciting. But now the last 2 years, no one knows what films they're nominating. So now they've become no fun. All these award shows for films no one's seen because no one's gone to the movies or whatever. Even the crap they're putting it, that people aren't making the kind of movies anymore because of COVID. Until that comes back, where I've seen
What
at
about
least 5
Dune?
out of the 10. What?
What about Dune? That was a
Exactly my
major
point.
movie though.
But
Like it
no
was
one cares
I
about
watched
Dune. I'm
it.
I think
saying.
people care
They
more
care about Dune.
now
But
than
they're
they
putting
did
out these
like the
ones
first
that I never. I
time.
mean, in 2020 it was ridiculous, but
Yeah.
now, I mean, still, I mean, I don't know. It's just not the fun as it used to be before COVID. I'm saying I love betting on the Oscars. I win a lot of money usually because I'm pretty good at guessing those little ones. Best documentary feature or short subject and stuff. I can win money on those. My bookie always used to have them. It was really good. And what they used to say is these are my illegal bookies, and they used to be like, yeah, Casper. My name was Casper. Casper always wins on those things. He's half a fag. He's in the entertainment business.
Oh my god, that's horrible.
Well, it's funny if it's illegal bookies, as long as it's not FanDuel saying that.
I'll
I
tell
feel
you.
like
Oh, go
oh,
ahead.
go ahead. Oh, I was just gonna say that like I'm just still kind of annoyed about the like directors and stuff who like refuse to like have their movies like stream. Like they only have them in theaters. Like
It's
because
old
like for a
school.
little while it felt a little bit safer to go, but like now it really isn't. And there's some movies that like I really like want to see. But like Licorice Pizza, for example, like is only like in theaters right now. So like I'm not gonna see it for a
Yeah,
while.
they're trying to get people to go, but right. And there's people like Martin Scorsese who you can't even blame him. He doesn't want to stream any of his stuff
Yeah.
because he's like, no, that sucks. This sucks. But
But
you
it's
can't
just so
blame somebody like
pretentious.
that who's older, but feels like younger people should. I like the choice of both. That's why I was happy with The Matrix
Yeah.
in the movie theater and HBO Max. I think that's the greatest thing ever. I never go to the movies, but the last one I did see was the James Bond one. When me and my friend Lawrence went, we were the only ones in the theater.
Like hotel. Well, I also get screeners because I'm in the
Oh,
guild,
that's nice.
right? So I get a lot of screen. If I find that licorice, I think I have that one. I'll
Oh,
send it to
really?
you. If I
Oh.
I
gotta
don't know
look
why I
for it
haven't gotten mine yet.
because you're not like certified professional or talented or
No, I usually get them through SAG.
yeah, no,
Are
no,
you getting them
they
through
know,
SAG or
they
the
know not to,
Oscars?
they know not to send it to you. But no, I mean the funny thing is they do send DVDs, which we don't even have DVD
Yeah,
players
you can't
anymore.
even play them.
I still have a PS4, so I can play it on that, and
Me
sometimes
too.
they'll
That's why I
send
play it
you.
on my Xbox.
And then sometimes they'll send you an email with links, so you can actually
Are
log
you talking
on.
about SAG?
I'm talking about SAG and I'm talking about Writers Guild. So I get
So
books.
you've been getting the SAGs? I
Yeah.
wonder why.
I have a whole stack.
But I usually get them. I don't know why I'm not getting them this year.
Because they know. They were like, don't send
Come
it to
on, that's
Juskow.
not
Don't.
why.
That is why.
Maybe I haven't paid dues in a while.
Yeah, I'm sure that's it.
I
Yeah,
haven't gotten a letter to pay them.
well, you
I
kind of
thought
have
they
to go
stopped them during
online.
COVID.
It's like this. It's like a mother. It's like if I have to remind you every
They
single
usually
damn
send a
time.
letter. I get snail
They
mail for all
probably were
that.
like, we don't need to remind you. If you don't know how to pay, then that's on you. You ain't getting no screeners. Now, I will say this about the
Oh.
Golden Globe and what I heard this morning on New York One. There was this young brother that was talking. He was eloquent. Oh my God, yeah. amazing words. But he said like the Golden Globe was more like a party before the Oscars. It's not real. It's just like great
Yeah.
TV. It's great TV to see all those celebrities in one room, and that's really what it was
And
for.
drinking and having a good time. Yeah.
Yeah, but the real problem is that they have no black people that were on the staff.
Yeah,
And
it's
and it's
crazy.
very problematic. So it's like, but here's the thing is like, and I know this for a fact. I know someone who's working on a show, similar award show, and the people that the heads of these things, they are the same people that always made it so white. So
Yeah.
like a couple of years they'll throw in a little bit of diversity to make people happy and make people shut up, and then they'll just go back to what they were doing. So as much as things like to bring back Sidney Poitier again, who is an amazing actor and who is like a legend in his own right, he was the one who broke a lot of those barriers when there was no one else doing
Yeah.
it at the time. And so you had a lot of those people making decisions based on what, like they're looking at the room and it's mostly white. And then we look at today and not much has changed.
No,
We're
and
in the same place. We have the
Yeah.
same people making these decisions, and all that diversity talk in Hollywood for these award shows is just
Well,
symbolic of it's bullshit.
Yep.
And it's a much
yeah.
bigger problem.
And I
And
feel
it's
they could have
Mhm.
handled all that stuff in one fell swoop. And I did like 3 podcasts on it. If Get Out had won Best Picture instead of that horrible Shape of Water or whatever that was, because in one fell swoop, you get a very big, diverse movie with which was an amazing movie.
Yes, I did.
And I was really upset that it didn't win. But then you give it to just a regular horrible movie, which they've just been choosing for years that no one cares about. That is just stupid.
Also when Green Book won, it's like, what? It was, I can't remember exactly but it was like mostly, it was like written
Because
by
the
white
family
people.
the family didn't approve
Yeah.
the book. However, the guy who the book was written about did.
Mm.
So there was a lot of like back and forth about that Green Book. I mean, I actually did like the movie, to be honest with you. But hey, there's just so many. It's so layered.
Yeah.
Like we're at a point now where people don't even want you to act like anyone that you're not, which is what acting is, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Like you can't
It's bad.
act in a role. Like I think Lucy and Arnez, Desi, right? Desi Arnaz.
Yeah.
I can't say these.
Or are you
It's
saying
like
Lucille Ball or Lucy
Lucy-
Arnaz, her daughter?
the movie with Being
The
Becoming-
Ricardos.
yes,
Yeah.
thank
They
you.
were all mad at Nicole Kidman for playing.
No,
that
Javier
what's the matter with him?
because he's not actually
Oh, he's not Cuban.
He's
Yes.
Spanish,
You
which
gotta
is
be
the
kidding! Isn't that
because
Well, then
Spain is
you
the
know what they need to
colonizing
do
force
then?
in Cuba.
They need to stop having English actors play American actors. Then let's put a stop to that.
That is
Let the
another
American
argument.
actors start getting work and stop with these fake accents. Like Spider-Man should not be British. I mean, if we're going there, let's
Right.
go all the way.
Well, that's where they're going.
Good.
That is where they're
I'm
going.
okay with that. one. The
However,
rest of it's
I mean,
pathetic.
that's the
Right, then
thing
it's
is
not
when
acting.
here's the thing. There
Right.
are some arguments for like this when you say like these things have like Black people have never been able to portray themselves in the way they would like to see, So when these things become more fair, I guess then you won't have so many of people like arguing about why don't you have a dog play a dog or why don't you have, a spider play a spider or, like
Yeah.
an autistic person play an autistic person, So the thing is Javier Bardem, he said this on The View this week. He said they actually did look for actually, the type, but they didn't find the best person in that who came out for it. And he actually is an amazing actor, which is
Yeah.
acting. It's the craft of acting.
And he was terrific in the movie, a movie that stinks.
Yeah, I think
Did it stink?
Oh, it's just so unnecessary. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. She did a good job. He did a great job. The performances were fine. J.K. Simmons, terrific. But the movie is unnecessary and stupid. And my friend Scott Aukerman just pointed out that he said it's funny about Aaron Sorkin, who when he writes something like The West Wing or something, we're all like, wow, this guy's amazing. This guy's amazing. Because we don't know how it works at The West Wing. But we do know about comedy, and we know that's not the way it works. And this is
Mm.
stupid. And that's not what Lucy was like in the sense of figuring out a scene, when clearly she would go on a show, which he has full knowledge of, and be like, just put me on a trampoline, I'll be fine.
They could find a Cuban. They couldn't find a Cuban that was perfect for the part.
Right.
So they were saying they did
was
do
wonderful.
they did do the work. They didn't find one that was perfect for the part, for the role. So like, I think the problem is that we know a lot of times there is
Yeah.
this unconscious bias. I say
Yeah.
that word so hard. Bias, which is that we know a lot of people like the comment up here about Larry Wilmore. On the Larry Wilmore podcast, Prentice Penny, showrunner for Insecure, said in the industry, people hire their friends and people like them. And it is true. It's like, a lot of times it's about a vision, right? So when we pitch shows and when we tell stories, we have a vision, and we don't want to work any hard to create a vision outside of what we have. So if it's my show, if I don't see it, I'm not going to cast it. If I don't believe it, I'm not going to cast it. Now, that's why you had in the past actors really campaigning for roles, because they had to fight to get a director to actually see them in that role. Halle Berry had to really fight hard to get Monsters. I always like to call it Monster Balls, but Monsters Ball. But she had to really fight for that role because they couldn't see her playing like a disfranchised mother who, was living like that and needed help. She had to really fight for that. So,
Yeah.
That happens a lot through the years in Hollywood. I mean, that's, a lot of women have had to fight for roles that they really want and show. Tom Hanks had to do that early on in his career. Oddly, this movie Dragnet 87 was the thing that turned around his whole career. He was just considered a romantic comedy guy. He got fed up. He's like, I can do so much more. He fired his agency, and they put him in Dragnet 87, where they're like, you can't be in an action comedy. And he's like, I can do everything, jerk offs. And then that turned his whole career around. The strange thing of Dragnet 87 made him a 2-time Oscar winner.
Great reference that. Yes. Thank you.
The whitest of all people.
Felt so old, that reference, but yes.
Yeah, it's an old reference, but it's just an example of people who have had to campaign through the years to get themselves out of who's the woman that's in From Here to Eternity, who Donna Reed, is it, that nobody would buy as a whore or a prostitute or something, and she had to campaign. I mean, it's been going on forever is what I'm saying.
Now, I love this by Arlene, mostly because it also covers your face, Juskow. But British actors are trained and picked on talent. U.S. actors are picked primarily by their looks first.
Makes so much sense.
Yeah, I would agree. But I also would say that the truth of the matter is British actors, anyone from England, the Royal Shakespeare Company, they really are.
They're so much better.
They are the textbook. If you want to be a great, like a lot of people want to talk about acting, but they've never been to acting school. They don't know anything about what it takes to be a good actor.
You're so right.
But everybody is talking and flapping their yaps, right? Like I actually went to school and trained to be an actor, and I became a comic. But the thing is, Royal Shakespeare, all the British actors, they are fucking phenomenal actors.
Yeah, they're 10 times better than us.
They
You're
are
right.
so much better. They are just, and the whole argument is, why is it always Black British actors playing like, roles that are about African American experiences? There is a problem there, but they're also so good at what they do. And you cannot argue that. You cannot take that away.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, the fact of the matter is there's a British Spider-Man, and there's been 2 British Spider-Mans. I don't care about Andrew Garfield, but this guy, Tom Holland, I mean, he's terrific. I hate that he's terrific.
I am preaching.
I heard that Andrew Garfield was good in the new one.
The new Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Well, that's a spoiler alert.
Well, it's been out for a while.
Well, I haven't seen it yet, but I know.
Well, yeah.
Well, he's a good actor. It's just, he just, that those Spider-Mans weren't very good. That's half the problem.
Well, yeah, that's
sometimes
the problem.
it's a bad movie.
I wish they would do the one with the little kid, the Dominican kid.
Oh, more. Yeah. Into the Spider-Verse, more of that.
Yeah.
That was
fun.
such a good movie.
It was so good.
It was really good.
I mean, look, when it's done right and when it's all good, it's great. It's just sometimes it's just, you got these people where look, something I've realized in the so many years of doing this, almost 30 years of being in entertainment and being a young person coming into the entertainment acting realm. It's a superficial business based on looks.
Yeah.
It always has been. And and you gotta work your ass off, actually, no matter what color you are, to change people's perceptions.
Yeah.
That's part of what acting, telling stories is all about. And so it's part of it. It's hard. It's not an easy path. It's not an easy field to be in. And there's a lot of superficial people in this industry. You look around the Golden Globes, or if you look around the Oscars, what is the thing you think about? You think about, well, look at all these attractive people in this room, right? You don't go, look at all these very talented individuals in this room. You go, look at all of these that's on purpose.
Yeah.
Now, maybe in 10 years, it'll be like that Twilight Zone episode.
Right.
Where the Eye of the Beholder, where we're looking at an award show and we're going, well, they all look like they have great minds.
Pig face.
But I agree with the sentiment earlier. Is like maybe these award shows aren't necessary. I think what it is it just makes good TV.
Right. And remember, when they started in the 20s for the films, this was the only time you got to see your favorite movie stars, doing something on TV or whatever. That was the thing. That's what made the Tonight Show so great. You could see movie stars being themselves. And now these shows are unnecessary. These talk shows, these at late night, they're unnecessary. There's no reason for them to be on. We know everything they have to say on Twitter and social media nowadays. And quite frankly, the way the Golden Globes did it is probably good enough.
That's right. We see everything. We've also learned their little comments from when they were like 13 years old.
And no one wants to hear a very wealthy celebrity, talk about their social, their plans to save the world.
Yeah.
And people are sick of that. And that's one of the reasons why all these things are the ratings are going down.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to disagree with this. I think she's an amazing actress, but Harriet, it's not her. Okay, I'm gonna say that it's not her. It's just I would have preferred to see the whole movie done differently. Me personally, Marina Franklin. But I think I would have liked to see someone else play Harriet. But I think Cynthia Erivo,
talented.
She is so talented. But it's just me, my little.
What else was she in that I would know her from? I didn't see Harriet.
On Broadway, she was in The Color Purple, the revival of that.
I've heard of her name, but I didn't see it. Put up a Delchi's.
She also did an Aretha Franklin biopic, I think.
Put up a Delchi's comment.
Which a lot of people didn't like Aretha Frank.
Yeah, well, because I know that Aretha Franklin wanted Jennifer Hudson.
Oh, that would have been perfect. How did that not happen? I thought it did happen. I thought she was.
It might have, but I'm not sure.
I thought that was the new one coming out. She's the only person that should play her. She's
terrific. She did play her in Aretha, didn't she? In the new one.
That's what I thought. Jennifer Hudson's
well, there was one where Cynthia Erivo did play her, I think.
Put up that Adelchi one.
The what? Oh, is Keanu?
Well, it's a good question. It's a great question because I'm going to say no.
No.
And yet, for some reason, he's delightful.
Yeah, because again, it's about a look, right? And it's about a vision. And no one can deny what their eyes like to look at. We're all superficial with these things. Okay.
I mean, there's something out as research.
They do what's called film tests, right? See how audiences respond to certain people on screen so that they can sell a movie, which means it's still a business. So as much as you may like me, Marina Franklin, maybe on screen a certain audience is like, she doesn't come across.
That's impossible. No, that is impossible. Everyone likes Marina Franklin. I find that very difficult to believe. I can't even fathom that as an example.
Oh, look, I didn't think Cynthia was good in Aretha. Yeah,
So she
see,
did play Aretha, but then we're
there's
also
two.
saying
There's
Jennifer
two.
There
Hudson
were
does this too.
two. She was in there's like a National Geographic series. I think it was called Genius. That Cynthia Erivo played Aretha Franklin.
Well, Aretha Franklin herself was amazing in the Blues Brothers movie. Thank you.
Oh, Jennifer Hudson described how she changed her singing for the role of the Queen of Soul. Oh, that's awesome. I think people just get tired of this.
Jennifer Hudson's the real deal.
The media pushes like one black woman a year, like it's like Jennifer Hudson.
Yeah, but she's really good and she makes sense.
She
and
is
she's
really good, but there's a
talented.
lot of other good black women out there, and
Well,
I'm just
but
saying,
not
like,
with that, not
stop.
with her vocal prowess.
It's yes, with her vocal you don't know them. That's the thing,
Well, that's what I'm
Juskow.
saying. Well, we know
The
Jennifer Hudson's
problem is
terrific.
that you only know her.
Well, why would we want an unknown? Why would you want an unknown in
It's
a
not
movie where you're trying to?
because let's just say, Juskow, you're an unknown.
Yes, yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is with Aretha, using Jennifer Hudson makes sense. I see what you're saying, but if they use somebody else, they're probably just going to dub her musical abilities, and that would make me upset.
Know. There are a ton of people out there that people actually do. I mean, I really doubt, Juskow, you're going down and listening to like a ton of black women artists.
Oh, I am.
Okay, I really doubt you're doing that research right now.
I see a lot of Broadway, and when there is a good black woman performing,
coming down the aisle,
yeah.
Hey, whatever it is, I just if somebody's great as a singer,
that's right.
they
Jennifer
get
Hudson
props.
herself was an unknown until American Idol. Yes.
Yeah, and she's done her career really terrifically. She was even good as an actress on in the Sex and the City movie. I like her.
No, I love her.
She's
but
cool.
I think what I'm saying is
And remember, she didn't win American Idol.
If I could just finish this, I think there are so many talented black women artists out there that just get undiscovered.
Yeah.
And I'm so hungry to hear more. And it's also because we don't have radio. We don't listen to radio like we used to.
Yeah.
All the music that we get is what we like. Is not nothing new, but there's so much talent out there. I get tired of the cycle of the same. I
understand that too. Yeah.
So that's all. No diss to any of them.
I think for this project that's a good choice. But I'm with you that
there's room for so many more
people.
Yeah. That's right, Ashley. Tons of other people go to a black church, and some of them can.
Oh my God, I've been trying to go to a black church to see that for years. I can't. I really that. Sounds so joyous and wonderful. If you know, Marina, of a black church where they're doing the stuff you see on, and singing joyfully on Sundays, I would go to that with you. I just don't know any where they would let me.
I would take you there. I just don't know if I want to put them through it.
Yep, I understand. Well, that's the other issue. I want to go to a place where I'd feel comfortable myself there. That they'd be comfortable with me. But doesn't that sound like a great time? I don't like temple or church, I actually like church before temple, but yeah, some of those churches where they're singing and they're such good singers, that's great. Do you ever see the show with that redheaded girl? It was on for a little bit where Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist.
Oh,
no.
Yeah.
It's
I heard of it. I never watched
breaking
it.
a musical song. There's a black possible trans person on that show who's got a wonderful singing voice. What's her name?
Alex Newell.
Is that who it is?
I'm not sure what pronouns.
I'm not sure of the pronouns, but yeah.
But
he or she is terrific. They are terrific, and because they first was in the church, and then they sing regularly on the show. Yeah. There was a lot of good voices on that show.
Well, that's a good point there. Good for you, Jusky. Now, I think this is a wonderful time for Evelyn to take us through some reviews of the Friends Like Us podcast, which is why we do this. If you joined us for the first time, you didn't know why I'm doing this. I do this to do a review and a preview of the Friends Like Us podcast. Okay.
Yeah, so the first review that we have this week comes from Instagram at waroki.images, who is responding to the post announcing who the guests were going to be this week. And they said, looking forward to it. Thank you for all the wonderful conversation. Keep going. And then let's see. This was actually from an email to the Friends Like Us Gmail account. It's from a few weeks ago, but it says, Dear Marina and friends, I'm truly thankful for you in the podcast. I listen to every episode and really appreciate it. And then I have another review from Indira Green, who I believe I've seen on this live stream as well, who said, I love to listen to the podcast. I love the recent one about Malcolm X. It was so interesting and enlightening. And then said that she was going to join the Patreon, which is great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so all really wonderful reviews this week.
Again, I can't believe you didn't have me on that Malcolm X podcast. Whatever.
Well, Tamara's always, she's not here today, but she's usually on here, so she would have been able to take you.
Yeah.
You know,
she would know what to expect.
Let me tell you about my thoughts on Malcolm X.
Yeah, she would have known very well how to deal with you. So yeah, I'm out of words. I have nothing to say. I felt like there was some other point I was going to make.
Look what Elizabeth said.
Maybe start with the farmer's market and then work your way. I went to the farmer's market today. As cold as it is.
Oh my God, it's so cold.
I got so annoyed. Juskow, you would have loved this. There was this guy who had that little giddiness, and you're right. It's like they were.
It wasn't that same guy though, right?
It wasn't the same guy, but it was another brother that had that same type of giddiness, and it just bothered me on such a level. And I don't know what that is, because I was just like, "Oh, you're so annoying. Just buy your stuff and go." And then there were these two girls, like, because it's cold, right? And these two girls wanted to talk about the roasted beans of the coffee. And I was like, you know what temperature it is out here? Like, come on, do this when it's like summertime. Don't have. They were having like a fun little conversation with the guy.
Everybody's having a good time. They want to relax. What's the matter? Why did you become that woman?
It was 10 degrees this morning, and they were like,
13.
They were like, no, it was 10. It was 10 when I got out there.
Yeah.
And I was like, and they were like, oh, so which one do you want to pick? I go, I will tell you which one to pick. It's real simple. There's only two. There's roasted beans, there's dark roast, and there's not dark roast. It's really simple, folks. So then I held it in. I didn't say anything. And then they were gone. And then I told the guy, I go, I just want whole bean, dark roast, 2 bags. And he goes, oh, you really know what you want. I go, yep, thanks. Bye.
You're like Rodney Dangerfield in Easy Money, where he's at the track and somebody's like, now let me ask you a question. The horse is about to go off. And he's like, if I do the daily double, and he's like, come on, while we're young. That's you in the background. Go, come on.
I was getting so annoyed. I was like, it's not summertime out here. What the hell, ladies? And then the fish guy always annoys me. There's something about his whole personality that just really bugs me.
Oh, no, that guy he's a dick. I remember that guy. Yeah, he's mad at everybody.
He tries to, he's passive aggressive too. Like, he tries to hide it, but I see exactly who he is.
Yeah.
But it's fine. I got my my roasted beans, and it's from Cuba, by the way. Or no, Colombia, sorry. And it's such great coffee. I'm so happy. Oh, hello. Thanks for calling me beautiful. Thank you. Even though I look a little crazy, right? No.
Okay.
Bye, DJ Eric Prince. Have a good set. We gotta go
have a good show.
We gotta go too, because I have early shows. Look at my TV.
Yeah, I gotta be at Carmine's in 3 hours.
3 hours. Well, that's
Evelyn,
an event.
you want to come with me?
I'm making chili tonight.
Oh, that sounds so much better. Damn it.
And she's being safe still.
Oh,
I'm not really going out right now.
Because even though we turned a corner, how do we feel about the governor before we go? How do you like Governor Hochul? You like her?
I feel like I haven't noticed her that much. I mean, not as much as Cuomo. We'll see. I don't love her not extending the eviction moratorium and stuff like that. So we shall see.
Thank you.
Oh, I knew you would like that.
Of course
I
do.
hesitated.
Very kind. Hey, you're okay. Oh.
Well, I'm glad I think Hochul is, we want to give her a chance.
I know, D.
Yeah.
But so far she's like kind of like she's just about politicians lately right now are so disappointing. I don't like any of them.
Well, think about this. And I've been talking about this for years. Right after Andrew Cuomo left, and he was the problem, she was smart enough to let legalized gambling go through. Now, that's bad for me, but it's good for the state because it brings in billions of dollars. So already she has made a smart move for the state of New York.
Oh, okay. Was no one else
As
going to
bad
make
as
that
it is for
move?
me.
Was de Blasio not going to make that? Or
There's not
Cuomo?
Cuomo. He was holding it up. He's been holding it up for a long time, that and weed. I don't know what his deal was. I don't know what kind of kickbacks he was
He
getting.
loosened on the weed because he wanted to look better, right?
Better.
But it's
Yeah,
very
it
obvious,
did.
isn't it? He leaves office and all of a sudden there's legalized gambling as of 9:00 last Saturday morning. Come on.
He had that sexual assault case, the one that they were
Yeah.
going to try him for, that was dropped.
It was
Yeah, it was
dropped.
both dropped.
But that's because that one officer or detective or sergeant or whatever got too ahead of himself and was
Oh,
like
really?
announcing it like an idiot.
Mm.
Yeah, it's like you always have someone who messes up the whole process because they
That's
think
me.
think they're right.
I do feel,
Are
I
you
mean, like
thinking about
not
me?
good, but I
Everything
think
you
it's
said.
important that Chris Cuomo was also fired from CNN.
Oh,
'cause
I hate
very
that.
clearly he was being impartial.
I know, but
and-
that's his brother. I'm okay with that. I don't know why.
well, but he should have not been. If he wanted to help his brother, he should have taken a leave of absence from reporting the news.
Perhaps maybe that would have been the way to go. But I never have any problem with that. I always thought he was okay. And if you're going to help your brother, I think that's a different story than helping a girl that you find attractive or something like that. So I don't know. Hey, my gloves are here.
Well, it's time to go because someone just called Juskow brilliant, and I refuse to
It's my
put that
good
up.
friend Marcy.
Yeah, Marcy, we will block
Marcy's
you.
very
if
excited for the
Marcy, listen, Marcy, I appreciate you being here today, but you cannot come on here calling him brilliant. You cannot. We will not allow
Marcy.
it.
No.
Marcy,
Anyway,
good luck with your Bengals.
Yeah,
playing in a
think
half
of
hour.
politicians like comedians. They need time to work up to a great set. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, guys, we gotta go. We'll be back next Saturday. We want you to stay healthy. We want you to stay safe. Don't wear your headphones. If you can take it, look around. This is going to be the month where people are going to be still a little crazy, especially if you live in New York. So keep your eyes open. All right. And,
And
wash
most
your hands.
importantly, hello, happy Martin Luther King Day. Hello.
Oh, like coming from you, it means something, huh?
That's what
Look
makes
at
it so
that.
funny.
Look at that. Look at that. We're teaching people. And yeah, happy Martin Luther King Day.
You're
and
welcome.
We'll be soon into Black History Month soon enough.
Oh,
Or as I call it, the month that Jussie Smollett like fucked up everything.
I love when you talk about him.
He gets on my goddamn nerves.
I
But this
know.
was fun. This was fun,
always fun.
everybody.
You guys are
So
the best.
don't forget, Black Lives Matter. Be safe.
Thank you, Elizabeth.